Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, chou-henshined in a blue fashion to deliver a review of SHFiguarts Kamen Rider Kuuga in his dragon form. The azure staff-wielding Kuuga is similarly gorgeous as the red one, only if you don't really dig red and you dig blue more, then hey, this is the way to go. His compound eyes have been recolored. This is the running theme with Kuuga's alternate forms, or that the clear parts and the armor all take on a different hue. And the upside of that is it gives us a look at the different qualities of clear-colored plastic over the compound eye sculpt. The red one was very lively, whereas the blue one has a very nice, cool feel to it. Similarly, his blue chest armor is actually an entirely new sculpt, something I didn't realize about the Kuuga alternate forms. And this one has a different set of Gorongi lettering sculpted around the arms. Again, if we can get some historians out here to translate this, you know, I'm sure this is enough footage for you to be able to tell me if it says, like, hey, I'm dragon form, or what's up with my lack of shoulder pads. And that's another cool thing about this toy, is that dragon form doesn't have any big shoulder pads, and that could have been something that could have actually been left off entirely. Instead, there are shoulder pads here. They're just black to match the color of Kuuga's arms. And it's a really nice subtle effect to prevent him from looking too thin while still being accurate to the design. Similarly, his arkle, similar to his eyes, has been redone with a blue lens over the Ichigo fan. Otherwise, it's painted entirely the same, and this is the nice thing about the arkles on the weaponized Kuugas, is that they still have all these different miniature paint apps. So there was no restriction of the color palette. They were all done with the 4 different colors of buttons. Unless, of course, all the arkles were just mass-produced and given different lenses, but that's way too convenient an explanation. One other little detail is that Dragon Form's kneecaps are now blue! That's something else that happens with all the different Kuuga forms. His main attraction, though, is his Dragon Form staff, and this thing is cool. This thing is big. The thing I really like about Figuarts are when Figuarts have staffs, they feel really substantial. And as you can see on the staff, it's, again, not just a big, solid accessory, it's also covered in Gorongi lettering. A whole lot of it. I really love the attention to detail on this stuff. It's fun to look at. It just reflects the light nicely. It catches the light with the shadows, and on the tips you get these kind of gem-like scepters that he can strike the Gorongi with and make them explode when all they want to do is participate in their gegeru. And thanks to the Figuarts posability, he can do some cool stuff with this staff. And like Kuuga Mighty Form and the other Kuugas that I'm going to be covering, he's got very nice, very full-on Figuarts Type 2 body posability. The only downside of this is that when I think staffs, I think really wide-legged poses, and the only limitation of this body is that you can't get the hips and ankles into quite as psychotically extreme positions as the dudes who have the miniature swivel inside and the balls at the top of the already swiveling ankles, but it's a really small thing and it doesn't bother me at all. And the upside of it is it makes the Kuuga body a lot more stable and a lot more solid feeling. The weaponized Kuugas have one limitation, which is that they all have less hands than Mighty Form in order to, I think, budget in their really nicely done weapons. So he's got holding things hands and he's got fists, and then in place of the fists you also have one other pair of hands, which are the kind of ragey splayed open hands. And this works out so well with the staff because it means that you can have him dual hand wield the staff, but with the ragey hands you can also have him do some Darth Maul stuff and kind of hold the thing behind him, put his hand out, go like, "Hey, buddy, I know what I'm doing. All right, I am Godai, goddamn Yusuke. Haven't you seen me in whatever it is that Joe Odagiri is doing right now?" So the Kuuga Dragon Form, it's an alternate form, so that's already a bit of a knock against it for some people. I know there are those who are actively avoiding buying alternate forms of riders because Figuarts are not so much pricey, but definitely not cheap. But it's really hard to avoid falling down that rabbit hole when you have a dude who looks this cool with his big-ass staff. So this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and while I would like to say that I hope you all are taking care of your personal finances, I also kind of hope I've convinced you to buy Dragon Form and fall down the rabbit hole with me. But the day's not over yet, so let's chou-henshin along into the next Kuuga.